Oh, you know what time it is. Let me get me all up and good on social media. All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome into your favorite, fastest growing pro wrestling show in all of the universe. Of course, this is the Coach and Bro Show. Now, every single show, it starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Wherever you are on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then coming up the first week of September, we will be going to 3 days a week. But today is a very, very special episode because you guys know here at the brand, we respect the wrestling business, especially those that came before us that grew the wrestling business. So let me bring in my partner, my guy, the best-selling author, the greatest of all time, Vinny Ruru. What's up, baby?
What is up, Coach? How you doing today, my friend?
I am good. I am so pumped for today's episode because coming up in like 20 minutes, we're going to be breaking down episode number 1. All I could think about was you yesterday as I'm watching all this backstage footage going, what is Vinny Ruru going to say? What's he going to say?
I did my homework. I watched it, and I look very forward to talking about it today, man.
All right, me too. Before we get to our very special guest, how can the good people in our chat, which is already popping, how can they be a part of the show?
Yeah, guys, if you want to be a part of the show, whether it's a question, whether it's an opinion, a comment, whatever it is, man, we'll pull you right up on the screen for a super sticker of $5 or more. Why? Because this is how Coach and I make a living. That is why. But, Coach, if they want to support us to the next level, what do they got to do?
I tell you what, so many people are doing it too. $10 or more. We have a thing we call the Coach and Bro Let Wheel at the end of the show. And Vince, we have such a great chat that yesterday we had 2 different super chats on the 2 count that said, hey, give it to somebody else on Wednesday.
Awesome.
Give it to somebody else. It's amazing. So anything $10 or more, you'll get your name up there and you could win a free gift card to buy any piece of merch. Now, Vince, let's get to our very special guest, because part of why we started this brand is from time to time to bring on some of the greats, to have conversations with those that came before us. And a few months ago, we had the great Jacques Rougeau right here on the show, part of Ghostmaster Redemption video game. It's coming out July 31st. So guess what we're doing today? We got both of them. We got both of the fabulous Rougeau brothers. We took it to the next level. What do you think? Give me one question you may want to ask the Rougeau brothers, because they're ready to go.
I'm gonna hold it.
You're gonna hold it.
I'm gonna hold it. Yes.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I can't wait.
I
can't wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, in 1986, these 2 men came in as true baby faces in the WWF, and then they very quickly became some of the greatest heels in wrestling history. We're talking 80 years of wrestling history, a family dynasty. So we are honored here at Coach and Bro at BTT Wrestling at BTT Studios to welcome in both Jacques and Raymond, the fabulous Rougeau brothers. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hello, good to be here.
Oh, Jacques, we've already had you on, so I got to start with your brother.
For
Raymond,
sure.
welcome into the show. Now, part of the reason we're having you on today is because coming up, Tony Khan, he loves the wrestling business. AEW is going to be honoring you in Montreal at their pay-per-view. How much does that mean to you and your brother to have an American wrestling company say, guys, this is who you are in Montreal?
I think it's great, and it's an honor, to be honest. It's the fact that you're talking, one of the biggest wrestling companies in the world, wanting to recognize the heritage of the family Rougeau, the 80 years in the business. For me, it's an honor. It's an honor for the family. It's an honor for the fans. It's an honor for Quebec. And it's an honor for everybody who came before us, like our great uncle, our father, and all that. I couldn't be more thrilled, and I'm looking forward to it.
Wow. Jacques, let me come over to you because I know that you are very honored. We spoke to you a few months ago to still be involved in the wrestling business, but you also said you wish you were in the WWE Hall of Fame. So this honor, and we'll get to that in a second, this has got to really feel good that somebody's taking the time and saying, Rougeau brothers, Rougeau family, you matter to the wrestling world in Quebec.
Well, you know what? It's I think my brother said it all. I think it's a matter of getting some weight off my shoulders. We started 6 months ago. It really started then, and when the European Hall of Fame got Raymond and I in there. And so that was kind of fun to hear that our fans still remembered us over in the UK. And then for this, to get this call from QT Marshall, who calls me up about 2 months ago, and he says, Jacques, he says, how would you feel coming to the Bell Center to see a pay-per-view, a nice AEW show? And I said, I don't really go to wrestling anymore, to be honest with you. He says, well, you got to come to this one. And then he explained to me why. And it was just amazing that the thrill started then 2 months ago, and it's been growing, building inside of me. And I remember when I called my brother Raymond up and I told him about it, and it'd been a long time since I seen a sparkle in my brother's eyes like that, and I felt like my brother, probably like me, felt a big weight off our shoulders because like I said, there's no secrets to it. When you're in a tag match, there's 4 guys in the ring. It takes 4 guys to dance, and when you're 1 against 1, it takes 2 guys to dance. So all the guys that we work with, we had storylines over the years. They're all in the Hall of Fame, but they didn't do it on their own, and so this is like, for me, this is such a relief. It's so fun, and but what I'm really hoping is, like I said earlier, is they're going to show probably a great video of my great uncle Eddie Rougeau that started in 1946, and then my uncle Johnny in 51, my dad in 56. And then Raymond in 72, and then me in 77, my brother Armand 79, and then my 3 kids in the 2000s. And they're going to show a video of that on the ceiling of the Montreal Bell Center. And then they're going to introduce Raymond and I. But the thing that I hope the most is that I get the microphone. If I could get the microphone, I just want to take the time to thank. I haven't been in touch with my fans, the wrestling fans, in over 35 years, and I just want to take that opportunity to tell them thank you for booing us so much, and for hating us so much, because they gave us our energy, and they are the ones why we are there. I did a talk show last night, a 30-minute talk show in Montreal, one of the biggest radio stations, and now the hype is getting bigger and bigger. Actually, there's 3 days of the Montreal newspaper. They're going to do an article on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday about this event. 3 days. And they called us today. We're actually going in about 15 after this interview. We're going right to the newspaper to get a picture of Raymond and I. But I did an interview last night, and it's so funny. I couldn't believe this happened. But the guy was talking about the tribute and everything. And suddenly I was just sending a message to my fans and to our fans, and I couldn't speak anymore. I was like, and then the announcer, he saw it. I was choked up, and I was so surprised, but I guess emotions took control of me, and I felt like, wow, I felt like crying, and I held back, but it was hard because the emotions, and I'm just imagining now in 5 days from now, when we walk out in front of 20,000 people, or how much people is going to be there, I'm sure it's going to be packed, to feel the recognition, to feel like we've done something great for Montreal. And I've always said the fans around the wrestling business have always been awesome, but the Montreal fans have been very, very awesome. And and for me, it's going to be a moment that I'll cherish, that I could just thank them for supporting us all these years.
Vince, go ahead, big man. What you got?
Coach, I hate to call out our guests.
Oh no!
I'm going to call out the great Jacques Rougeau. Jacques wants the microphone because he's a loudmouth and a troublemaker, and he always has been. You see the quiet guy sitting next to him?
Yes, I noticed that.
Listen, I put Jacques over to the moon on the last show. I want to talk about the quiet guy sitting next to him, because I'm going to tell you this. Ray will not remember this, okay? Coach, this is something I've never forgotten, and I literally have told dozens and dozens and dozens of people about this. Now, Coach, when I throw to you, Coach, when I say a man's man, Give me a man's man in your opinion. Who's a man's man in your opinion?
A man's man is Walker, Texas Ranger.
There you go.
Guy,
maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger. A man's man. Chuck Norris, a man's man.
Yes.
Bro, I swear to you, and I'm going to have Ray talk about this because I want people to know I have not been lying for the last 30 years. Ray, you once showed me a video of how you go about hunting. And I will never forget that. As this is way before Survivor and all this other crap. I could not believe what I witnessed. So, Ray, please, to show people that Vince Rougeau is not a liar, can you give us a little bit of a taste of what you called hunting?
Vince, you're not a liar. I can tell you that. I've been a hunter all my life, and I go hunting basically close to Rougeau, which is up where the Eskimos are. I fly my plane up there. I brought my son, him and I. We'd find a lake to land on. We'd set up tent. I'd spend a week there. I'd go walking miles and miles over mountains, hunting there. In 1 week, I saw 21 bears. I wash in the lake where it starts to snow at the end of August up there. You start getting snowflakes. I go wash in the lakes there. I'll fish out of the lake and catch my supper. Otherwise I'll go hungry. I've slipped out in the woods many times because I was tracking animal and I didn't find them by the end of the day. I'd sleep under a tree. I'd wait the next morning. I'd take off again. Sometimes I'd be 2 days in the woods without coming out. It's a fun life. It's a very adventurous life. I sleep with my rifle next to me. So, basically.
Wow.
Coach, he's not telling all of it. He's not telling all of it. He would land his plane in the middle of nowhere, not have any idea or clue where he was. Bro, he would hunt these massive moose, elk, whatever they hell. Coach, he would kill them. Jock, Ray, please tell me if I'm lying. He would kill them, butcher them, put the meat on the plane with him, and then fly back. Ray, am I right?
Yeah, you're completely right. But you missed one part. After I finished dressing it, I quarter it, put it on my shoulder, and carry it back to the plane.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I'm obsessed with the show Alone. That's what they do in Alone and all these different shows. You were like 40 years ahead of your time, Raymond. You had been on some of those shows like right now that they go out there and they do exactly what you used to do.
When they wrote the song "A Country Boy Can Survive,"
that's it, right?
And coach, here's the thing: these 500-pound, moose, bro. He didn't shoot them, Coach. He wrestled them to the ground, Coach. He wrestled.
Now you're lying.
He choked them out, Coach. He choked them out, and then he carved them up, threw them over his shoulder, and put them on the plane.
You're not gonna believe this, Vince, but he would pick up the moose by the butt and put him up on his shoulders, and I'd come off the tree with an ass bump in his face.
That's hilarious. All right, guys, we have a lot of people. I don't know if you can see it, but we have a lot of people that watch us live. A lot of people are in the chat. They're absolutely already loving this. But what we like to tell people is that the wrestling business is all about the memories. It's all about the memories that nobody could take away from you. Raymond, I want to start with you. Give me like 60 to 90 seconds, and then Jock, give our fans, our chat, a favorite memory over all of the years that you can remember from your time, whether you're traveling, in the ring, wrestling, whatever it is, from all those years ago. Raymond, let's start with you.
There are so many memories, but one that stands out all the time because it's something that you don't live every day. My brother and I, we were in Paris. We were the main event there, and there was a club. In New York, there was Studio 54.
Yes.
Well, in Paris, there was a club. It was called Chez Regine. It was at Regine's. And Regine, the owner, she was at the match in Paris. She watched us wrestle. She invited my brother and I over to her club that night. But we were taking a flight to Milan the next morning, so we're like, oh, we're going to go, because we didn't go out to the clubs and party and stuff. But how can you pass up an invitation to go to Regine? So basically, we went. You get there, it's an exclusive club. It's very private. 2 bodyguards at the door. We get there, they say yes. We said we were invited by Regine. So it says, your name's the fabulous Rougeau brothers. They said, wait a minute, went inside. Regine came and welcomed us, brought us in. She says, guys, hey, I'm so glad you came. She says, would you mind if I introduce you to a couple of friends of ours? I said, yeah, no problem. So my brother and I come in. So if you get to the first one, she says, oh, hey, Michael, let me introduce you to, he says, I know these guys. They're the Rougeau brothers. My kids love them. It was Michael Douglas, the actor. You know?
Yeah.
So we spent 15, 20 minutes talking with him and this and that. Then she introduced us to Grace Jones, to Sade. You tell that to the average person and they're like, get out of here. But
Right.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
God, that's awesome. Jock, what about you?
I've been dreaming ever since. but you know, Sade, the smooth operator. That's where I learned. But anyway, yeah, what a night that was. Holy mackerel. Well, I'm gonna get away from the limelight, and I'm gonna go under the lights, and I'm gonna say a moment that comes to me very special is the marathon matches we did with the Rockers. You know, Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. We had a mandate to do 1-hour matches. And we did the ones who won the most fall would win, and we'd always go like 5-5, you know, the falls, and then at the end we'd always lose 6-5 or something like that. And one day we did one in London, and there's 6 hours earlier over there. And then we got on a plane and we did one, and 6 hours later in Philadelphia, we did 2 one-hour matches with these guys. And you could only do it with talent like Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, and they were so great. But the highlight was after we got this all, it was so perfect the match. We went to the Madison Square Garden, and we decided, Sean, Raymond, and I and Marty, to play a rib on Vince. And so we'd end up the match. The 1 hour was finished, and we end up doing a draw. Where Vince was pissed off because he didn't know we kayfabed him, and then finally I took the mic on the floor. I said, "You think it's gonna finish here? We want overtime." And we went like 11 minutes more, I think, and it was like an hour and 11 minutes. But you know, those are things that you know I'll never forget, because you know to have 20,000 people on their feet for an hour, you know it's and they were. Raymond and I, we were so good together in the ring, and so was Marty and Sean. You know, you had 4 top talent in there who understood the business, who respected each other, respected the business, and so it was amazing. That's one moment that I think I'll never forget. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Wow, that is so awesome. We're being joined by the Rougeau brothers here. A lot of people are coming in right now. Obviously, coming up this Sunday, you guys are going to be remembered for all the greats and the last name and the legacy and all of that. But Raymond, let me come to you first. When you think about your career, and now obviously we're getting to where we're being remembered stage of your career, what would you say that you're most proud of that you accomplished inside this most incredibly unique, at times very difficult business?
What I'm most proud of is coming out of my wrestling career normal. Coming out, yeah, I'm healthy, I'm normal. You know, I mean, it's no secret. I never did drugs, I never drank, never smoked, never did steroids. I'm 71 today, and I work out 28 days a month.
Amazing.
I'm in perfect health, and that's what I'm proud of. And you know, when we're on the road was very difficult back then. You know, we're on the road 25 days a month. Time changes all the time. You're never home. And I did that straight. It was just discipline and straight. I think that's what I'm the most proud of, you know. And like I said, and my after career, you know, I'm the mayor in the city where I live right now. You know, I just got reelected last November for another term. I've been elected official now for 23 years. So this was my 7th consecutive election. I've never lost an election. So, you know, every 4 years you're on an ejectable seat. And if you don't, really, every 4 years you go to election, if they don't like what you did or they don't like what you're doing, they press on the button and you're gone. Well, this was my 7th consecutive election that I've won. That I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
And you know, the wrestling career prepared me for my political career because you face adversity in the business, you face hard times, you have to dig deep down, you know, for the courage and the strength to continue. It's the same thing in politics.
Wow.
So for me, I think my wrestling career prepared me for this. But I'm very proud of where I am now, and like I said, just been elected for another mandate as mayor for another 4-year term. So I'm very proud of that.
I hate to call you out on it, but I believe the correct term is mayor for you, is it not? Yeah. See, I do my homework. I know. Now, Jock, something your brother just said.
You are so international.
That's what the ladies have always said, right? That's what they've always said. Jacques, one thing your brother just said drives us nuts here when we do our show. When we have guys now that are like the other day, for example, Roman Reigns. He's going to be in the main event at SummerSlam in 2 weeks. He wasn't even on the show. We all grew up in an era, whether it's mine, Vince's, yours, where you simply did not miss a show, period. What do you make of it now that you see guys that are like, well, they've negotiated it, so they only need to show up 15 times a year? Could you ever have imagined that, Jock?
No, I couldn't. And I was hoping you would ask me the same question you asked Raymond. Tell me something about. Well, I'm going to answer it.
Okay.
I'm the other brother.
That's awesome.
How can I talk after that? I'm just the other guy. But I'm just kidding. I'm so proud of my brother Raymond. He was such an example for me. And you know what? My father, my uncle, and our family always had great values of life. And thank God, you know. Same for me, you know, never went out drinking in clubs, never took steroids, never took drugs. But had other difficulties that I had to deal with, like my personality and my attitude sometimes. I was a little different than Raymond. I didn't listen to my mom, who told me turn my tongue 7 times before talking. But you know what? I grew older, I grew mature, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of being able to say that I was a certain person when I was young, but I've managed to get better in time. And I think that life makes you better. And so I'm happy where I'm at now. I'm healthy. I'm 66 years old. I could still play in all the activities, the sports that I want to. I could get on water skis if I want to right now. Wow. And you know, I look at all my peers, you know, that unfortunately don't have that luxury and their health. And so I think I'm a very lucky man in life. And, you know, if I'm going to take it just to open up a little parenthèse, like we say in French, my life became what it was. You know, my Intercontinental Championship, my 3 Tag Team Championships of the world, my beating Hulk Hogan, all those things came because of my brother Raymond. Because if he wouldn't have been there to back me up against the Bulldogs when the shit hit the fan, I wouldn't be around. I would have ran. I would have put my tail between my legs. I would have ran. But he was there to support me. My dad was there to give me advice to stop the bullying. And so I owe a lot to my brother Raymond.
That's awesome.
Wow. Well, guys, we're going to get you out of here on this because I know you got to get down and take the pictures, and we've got to come do the rest of our show. And thank you guys so very much for coming on today. But the last question I want to say is, Raymond and then Jock, you can answer this as well. When you get to Sunday and you get remembered by all the people that are in attendance, and obviously a lot of those memories are going to flood back. Wow. Sorry. I don't even know why I'm getting emotional today. But the way you've respected the wrestling business and what we talk about on this show all the time, what would you like the fans to know about what you feel about the wrestling business and what it's meant to your family, your legacy, because that's really what the Rougeau name is. So Raymond, I'll let you go first, and then Jock, if you'd like to answer that.
Jonathan, I can resume it in one word. It's respect. We always respected the fans. The fans paid their hard-earned money to come and support us, and if without them, we wouldn't be there. Without them, none of us would be there. So we always gave 100% for the fans. And for us on Sunday, I can tell you we're going to soak it in and we're going to give it back, because we want it to be a two-way street. It's not just for us, it's for us and for them. But it's respect. We always respected the business, respected the fans. We always gave them 100%.
That's awesome.
Jock?
I'm the other brother. But anyway, I just want to say, I want that microphone, because I want the microphone to say thank you to all the fans. I just want to say that. I also want to remind everybody that we're not. The good thing about it too is we're not going to disappear, because I am the supernatural officer, Jacques Rougeau. There's a new game coming out that for those who game. And the name Rougeau is going to continue there too. Raymond's going to continue making the headliners as the mayor, and I'm going to be in the game business, the gaming business, the Ghostmasters Resurrection, and it's in 22 different languages around the world, and that's amazing. But yeah, to be honest with you, I wanted to plug that in because it means the world to me that they put me in a game that's not even wrestling. It's not even a wrestling game. That's the fun thing about it, and it's New Horizons. But to go back to the Sunday night, like I said before, I've had a few sleepless nights now. I don't know, Raymond, how you feel, but 2 nights ago I had a dream that I was going to the ring, and the people were screaming, "Rougeau, Rougeau," and I was going up the stairs, going in the ring, and I tripped and I fell on my face. And I swear I had that dream, and I woke up all sweaty, and I looked at my girlfriend in bed. I said, "Oh, thank God, it's only a dream." But I'm very excited, very, very excited, flattered. I'm so happy. And if somebody asked me today, Jacques, are you upset that you're not in the WWE Hall of Fame? Not anymore.
Hey, Jock, the good news is if you fall flat on your face going to the ring, your brother will throw you over his shoulder and carry you the rest of the way. Okay?
Carry you out.
No worries. No worries.
Hey, Vince, I got news from you. I'm going to get up because a Rougeau always gets up.
There you go,
man.
There you go.
Guys, real quick, I want to read a few things that we got in the chat. I want you guys to hear, okay? These are a few messages that were in the chat. Thomas Campbell said they got to be the best tag team in WWF history. Vichy says, what a good run. GG. These guys should be in the WWE Hall of Fame already. Shaking my head. Hall of Fame. 2 of the best. Love you guys from the Nerd Alert. So understand, you may not be in the WWE Hall of Fame, but the true fans that know, they respect you. We respect you, and we'll be watching on Sunday night. No doubt about it.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right. That is Jock and Raymond, the Rougeau brothers. They're going to be heading out to do, it's going to be a really, fabulous Rougeau brothers. How disrespectful of me, Vince. The fabulous Rougeau brothers. A couple of things, Vince, from that. Number one, I'm so glad that they're getting this award because I know for Jock in particular, when we had him here before, it really bothered him to not be in the WWE Hall of Fame. And now you just heard him say, doesn't bother him anymore. Doesn't bother me anymore.
Coach, I just have to tell you this, man. I grew up on these guys, and God, sometimes I just wish that the fan base, the people watching our show, I wish they were my age and they would have got to experience, guys like the Rougeau brothers. I got to be honest with you, Coach. I have to believe it's just an oversight. Honestly,
it's got to be.
I have to believe that because there is no way in if this world were right that these 2 guys are not in. I have to believe it's an oversight, and I also have to believe they're going to make it right.
they better make it right. And hopefully, you know, there's a lot. We know they watch this show. And I'm hoping that they watch today's episode because they made it very clear when they make other decisions because of what you said and what I say. The one thing about the WWE Hall of Fame, I've always said this because people ask me all the time. I know they ask you. And I go, no, I would not accept an intro or an induction until there's a brick and mortar or when they take it seriously. And the Rougeau brothers are part of the reason I say that is because every year they check a box. We got to have one female. We got to have one of this. We got to have one of that. We got to have one of that. And you look at it and go, really? Instead of saying, who are the best? Who were the best? And let's get the best into the Hall of Fame. Then I don't think I would feel that way. But that's how I felt every single year. I just felt like they're checking boxes sometimes.
Yeah, and Coach, at the end of the day, you don't even know what the process is. We still don't know what the who is voting. We have no idea what the process is. If we don't even know who's voting, how are we supposed to take it seriously?
No doubt. I mean, if you're talking NFL, it's like, okay, you had to play this many years. You had to do this many
exactly,
things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
This year, it was like bringing Undertaker down and, hey, Steph, you're into the Hall of Fame because you're Vince's daughter, not because of you did X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So hopefully they get in, but I'm super excited. Tony Khan, who obviously we had a great conversation with, and we criticize him a lot, but we also praise him a lot. And I think what he's doing this Sunday, because he loves wrestling. And I think this shows that I could not be more excited at Redemption. So kudos to Tony Khan and AEW.
Yeah, Coach, listen, I haven't watched AEW in a long time. I'm just being honest. But when we put that graphic up and we saw that these guys are going to be, bro, I want to watch that. I want to see Jacques get the microphone. I want to watch that. That is an absolute shoot.
Well, it's on pay-per-view, so we'd have to do that out of your cut, of course.
Oh, well, let's not get panicky then. I'll wait till they put it on network television.
We'll tell Tony. Hey, Tony, just play the clip on Wednesday, please, on Dynamite, please.
Yeah, right.
I got to save my $50, but they're worth $50. Yeah. So thank you again to the fabulous Rougeau brothers. And by the way, we gave away a lot of those video games a couple of months ago. We told you Jacques would be coming up in July. So those of you who won, play the game. And I think I need to email the guy again and get a few more copies.
Yeah.
You got to get a few more copies.
Let's get it out there.
Yeah, we'll get it out there on Monday. Hopefully, we'll get Producer Man on that. All right, we got to keep it moving. So for the next 5 episodes, we're going to be breaking down a singular episode of WWE Unreal. And it was very clear to me, Vince, that at the start of the first episode, which dropped at midnight on Tuesday morning, Monday night, that they were doing themes. It was a theme. And the theme was John Cena on camera, the why. And all throughout the interviews, they had them saying, here's the why. What did you make of the fact that they tried to make it a theme throughout the first episode?
I don't have a problem with that, and I love Cena talking about the why because especially as a writer, the why is very important. It always comes down to the why. But here's the problem, Coach. They label the show The Why.
Yep.
And then never give us the why, okay? Because
that's what I was getting to.
Cena is trying his best. And, bro, you got the perfect person doing it. Bro, I have never met John Cena in my life. And the respect I have for this dude, having never met him, outside of Bray Wyatt, he is the second guy I wished I could have got to work with. And they got the perfect guy trying to explain what happened with his heel run. Mm-hmm. But, brother, you can't explain it without leaving out a very important part. And that part is The Rock. Obviously, something went haywire with The Rock. Something went down, and he dropped off the face of the WWE. And here's Cena trying to explain the why without ever giving us the why.
Why and the who.
Yes, so at the end of the story, like he tried to make the best case scenario out of it, even saying we made a mistake, we had a pivot, and all that stuff. But the fact of the matter is, The Rock changed all those plans, and we never talked about it.
There's a reason you and I don't talk about certain things before the show, because I want your perspective without it affecting mine and vice versa. At the beginning of that episode, I don't know if you caught this. I'm sure that you did. When John Cena said, we decided that I would be aligned, he used the word aligned with The Rock and Travis Scott.
Right.
If you're doing a storyline of that magnitude, that in 23 years you've never been a heel for whatever the why was, and you say that in Unreal, you've got to tell me, when you're aligned with The Rock, why are you no longer aligned with the arguably one of the three biggest stars in the history of wrestling?
Yes.
That was they literally never addressed it. They never said, okay, when we got to WrestleMania, what I think they tried to cover it with, Vince, was, I want to make the fans so pissed off with bad finishes, boring finishes, shitty finishes, but let's forget about the fact that something happened so major that he literally didn't come and tried to hide behind the fact I was just there to sell tickets.
And you know what? Honestly, man, that's where the show is going to lose credibility. Because you can't tell that story and not give us the why.
I like that you use the credibility thing, because for those shows, the reason they're so impactful, whether it's wrestling or we have one in the PGA Tour, is you're seeing them behind the scenes, and fans want to see the realness of behind the scenes. They want to know good, bad, or indifferent. Would it have been so bad, Vince? And I don't know the entire reason. We don't. But we know it's something. We know it's something, but neither The Rock has breathed a word, and neither has WWE. Why do you think they have chosen on both sides of the fence not to address it?
Man, Coach, that is such a great question. I don't know what could have been so bad or so horrible that we can't talk about it. I have no idea. That's a great question that I cannot answer.
I feel like Cena wants to talk about it too. I feel like at some point, and I said this when they signed him to a Legends deal, because when a guy like Cena, and I traveled with him for a little while, I was in a tables match, almost beat him, Vince. It was like that close, that close. And him and I got drunk together at a Bennigan's in the Quad Cities of all places after we had a tables match. And we've had so many great times throughout the country. When I met him, Vince, he was like Raymond Rougeau. He didn't drink. He didn't go out. He didn't party. Boy, did that change when Ric Flair got his hands on him.
Yeah.
But he's always respected things. I watched him drink one time till 4 or 5 in the morning and be on the bus in England to be the first one to go to the gym at 9 a.m. I mean, he was a freak of nature. But I don't believe, Vince, when he decided to call it quits, that he ever thought he was going to stay past December. I don't.
Yeah.
And my gut tells me that they did this so that he would not be out there in the world, and then decide at some point, you know what? I feel like today's the day to tell my story.
Yeah, that's quite possible, and we don't know if he ever will. I mean, maybe one day he will, but come on, guys, what you were feeding us and missing that key piece, it came across as not making any sense at all.
It came across as incomplete.
Yes.
It came across as incomplete because they went from him turning heel into the finish at WrestleMania, which they just completely glossed over. And I got a little confused on when things were happening. And then you had the CM Punk going back to when he was a rapper, and then the whole Brock Lesnar thing. And remember when you and I were talking about it, of why would they do a squash?
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep.
And then his reasoning for the squash was, I'm trying to remember, how did they say this? He was like, I wanted, they wanted to build up Brock to where he beat a guy who had just been a champion. And I'm like, but after 23 years as a champion, with or without the title, you're still just John Cena.
Right.
And did that make a lot of sense? Like, as a writer, when you heard the explanation, the why for a squash match to build up Brock, who's also a 20-year veteran, what did you make of that?
I made of it that you're trying to give us a good reason when there's no good reason. That's what it sounded like to me. I'm like you, Coach. I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense. I don't want, listen, I put John Cena up on a pedestal and I don't want to discredit him in any way, but come on, bro. Like we all know there's a piece that's missing here. And we all know because you guys had to, go to plan B, C, D, and E. A lot of it wasn't going to make any sense. So when you're sitting there trying to make sense out of something that doesn't make any sense, now it really doesn't make any sense.
I was thinking as I watched it, how many different edits did this first episode get sent back for? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
You're right,
got Coach.
sent to, Nick or Triple H. Are like, no, we're not going to do that. Because there's also a line, and I want fans who are watching right now to understand that when me and Vince see something we've set in Gorilla, we understand the length of the conversation, not just a 14-second bite telling somebody that they're injured. And when you see a John Cena and then you cut to Triple H, who basically, remember, he was in the writing room and he essentially said that John Cena was setting the business and the company back by these decisions that he was making. Yeah. That's essentially what he said. Did you make the same thing out of that statement?
Yeah, I did. I absolutely did, Coach. Yeah.
So when something doesn't work, and that was not working, and they decide to go back for the last 3 months and make him a babyface, that worked. That worked. But that heel run for 6 months, Vince, and watching it play out on Unreal, I think I can confidently say that might have been the way they did it, one of the biggest mistakes maybe in the history of the company.
Yeah.
Would that be an overstatement?
Oh, no, not at all. And again, guys, listen, I'm telling you, as a writer, if Rock is a main part of this story, and then the next day you don't have Rock, bro, you got to scramble. You've got to scramble, but you got to scramble, but you still got to make sense out of it.
100%.
You still have to try to make some kind of sense out of it, and a lot of it just didn't make sense.
So imagine this. Let's play it back for a second. And by the way, Triple H joked that, remember when John Cena says, "I'm trying to ruin wrestling." They played that by, "I will ruin wrestling." That he wasn't ruining wrestling, he was ruining the company. That was the line. He's not ruining wrestling, he's ruining the company.
Right.
Imagine this, Vince. Let's paint the picture. Imagine if when you have that shot with Cena, Travis Scott, and The Rock, who look like $10 million. His best shape of his life. And now all of a sudden, Rock is participating all the way up to WrestleMania. And now Cena is this bad guy aligned with another arrogant bad guy that you kind of want to be like in the new version of The Rock. And then you get to WrestleMania, and it's Rock and Travis Scott coming down. Now all those people, Vince, have paid tens of thousands of dollars. They're not complaining anymore about how much money they spent because they're seeing the greatest perhaps of all time with perhaps the second greatest of all time. You could argue that. Right. And then we move into the summer, and now all of a sudden, Cena and Rock are aligned, and now whoever he goes up against, you can then say, well, we know Rock is the guy behind, the money behind whatever it is. That changes the entire 6-month process of that first episode.
Yeah, and Coach, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye, because we've got to understand Rock is on the board. Rock is a part of the WWE. So even if Rock isn't happy, now, bro, a guy like Rock is not going to give a 2 weeks notice, okay? But even if a guy like Rock isn't happy, bro, if I'm on the board and I'm getting paid what WWE is paying me, and I know I don't want anything to do with this, I'm going to do something so I can bow out gracefully.
Yes.
And like I said, well, I'm not talking about giving you a 2 week notice, but you know what, guys? This isn't working for me. I don't just want to bail on you, so this is what we're going to do. For him not to do that, bro, it had to be something pretty damaging.
100%. There had to be a payoff. Whether it's WrestleMania as a payoff, or when they decided to take him back babyface, when they decided to do that, that would have been a beautiful time to have the kiss off, and Cena and Rock thinks that. But again, it would take a little bit of, all right, my character's going to take it on the chin, But to have Cena turn babyface by taking out The Rock, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't have hurt The Rock, because The Rock was going to be gone clearly to do Moana for the next several months, shoot it and then promote it. And so it wouldn't have hurt The Rock to
It
do
would. It
to
wouldn't
do
have
that.
hurt The Rock, but you kind of feel like The Rock felt like he owed them no favors. So
Correct.
whatever it was, that's just my opinion, guys. That he felt that he owed them no favors.
We're talking over $80 million, guys. Over $80 million he was paid over a 2 or 3 year period for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
And to be on the board, and also think about this, because it's funny, Vince. You and I were there every single turn. We're like, what's going on? And I feel like we lived this. And as he's getting paid and you're on the board, remember, he utilizes social media maybe better than any big star out there. And how many times did he post about Moana in the last 3 weeks when he was traveling all over the world, all the different every single day? Was there not a post about Moana?
Every day. I was seeing him on TV every day, whether it was Entertainment Tonight, whatever it was. I saw so many clips of Rock during that stretch.
So many. So
I mean, here's what that tells you. If he wants to get behind something, he's getting behind it.
That's my point.
If he doesn't, he's not. It's that simple.
It's that simple. It's that simple. And this is also something that costs nothing.
Right.
It costs nothing to post on social media. And Vince, think about it. We're talking about a guy that he was in 2 main events of WrestleMania with well after he walked out of the company.
Right.
2 different WrestleManias. It was him and John Cena.
Yep.
I mean, this is a guy he respects as much as anybody. So I really don't think that it had anything to do with Cena and Rock.
I don't either.
Right?
Yeah.
So to me, if you're doing the deductions, he certainly doesn't have an issue with the guys who run TKO.
Yeah.
Ari and Mark and them. There's only a couple people left.
Yeah.
And to me, it was such a big miss. And as a fan first, watching that episode, I'm thinking, man, how great could that have been? Because I promise you, they were not thinking about doing, CM Punk and the old Thugonomics but I will say the one thing I really loved was the homage to wrestling with him and AJ Styles.
Yeah.
That match with all the different finishes.
Yep,
Did you like that part?
I did like that part. Yeah. But Coach, I got to tell you, here's my biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
And this is where there's a huge problem in the WWE. And every time I watch Unreal, or every time I watch one of these WWE specials where they highlight a certain wrestler, okay? Here's the problem. I'm watching this show, and a bulk of this story is CM Punk, AJ Lee, and even Larry, okay? And I'm hearing AJ Lee talk. I'm hearing Punk talk about the marriage, and you could see his love for his wife. I'm caring about this dog that looks like the Wolfman, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, I am caring about these people. I literally am care. Oh, I like AJ Lee now. I didn't know.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
When I'm hearing Punk glow, and you look at his face, when you see him glowing about his wife, a man like me, I like that guy. So now I'm seeing 2 very likable people and a likable dog. I watch the product when they're in the wrestling bubble, whatever you want to call it. I got no emotional feeling for Punk. I got no emotional feeling for AJ Lee. I don't care about these people on the wrestling show. Why aren't these people on the wrestling show an extension of the people I'm seeing on Unreal?
You want me to tell you why?
Please tell me why.
You want me to tell you why?
Yes.
There's a very, very clear reason. WWE does not do Unreal.
Well, there you go. That's it then. That's it.
Unreal. I met a guy last year a camera guy on another shoot that I was doing who worked for NFL Films and out of Philadelphia. And he was like, hey, man, I was just working on Unreal. What a great project for the WWE. The NFL, like my boss at the PGA Tour now just came from the NFL. Brian Rolap's his name, incredible leader. They started this thing called Chasing Sunday, which is essentially Unreal for the PGA Tour. And they use those guys. It's NFL Films. Over the years, Vince, you know all the greats like the 70s with the Raiders and all, that's NFL Films.
Yep.
That's not WWE. They don't have their own crew of camera guys other than those that shoot the show. So they have to go and hire outside great storytellers at NFL Films. So they're coming in and shooting it. They're also editing it.
Yeah.
So you've got a completely separate group than what works
I
on Raw and
never
SmackDown.
saw that relationship between Punk and AJ Lee on the show. Here was my takeaway. And now I look at AJ Lee and I'm like, you know what? I like her and I respect her.
Lot.
Now that I heard this, when I'm watching the show, Coach, here's what I'm saying. Why is a grown-ass adult skipping to the ring? That's what I'm saying. Guys, this is what you're freaking missing, man. These are real people. What we've created here now is everybody is a wrestler. They think the same. They feel the same. They talk the same. I know Liv Morgan grew up in a freaking trailer park. If I knew how rough Liv Morgan's life was growing up, you don't think I would care about her and watching her as a performer more than I do? You never hear about that story on the show.
No. So what you're saying, just to make it clear for a lot of our new viewers too, if they would somehow package, let's just focus on the CM Punk thing for a second. Let's say they package that, Vince, and you're bringing AJ Lee back. You do the surprise. You want to have that pop. We get it in Chicago. But then between then and the pay-per-view, you essentially package that you're talking about with the dog, with the what I've been doing the last 10 years. Why am I coming back? I'm coming back to support my husband who's having an issue with Seth Rollins, and I got to take out Becky Lynch because he can't beat her up, and now we've got the tag team. Is that what we're talking about here?
Coach, I got to tell you something. Just yesterday, I was having a conversation with a JCW talent, just a regular conversation. That talent turns around and says to me, Vince, as a child, I was beaten every day of my life.
Wow.
My first knee-jerk reaction is, can we talk about that? Can we tell that story?
Right.
Because now if I'm watching the show and I know that's what you went through as a child and you were able to overcome all that, and here you are, you're going to be over huge. If it's okay with you, can we use that? And we know, I mean, my God, AJ Lee has spoken about, mental health. I mean, she's written books about it. She's talked about this. If I know that side of it and I know her struggles, now I am pulling more for her. But to totally ignore the story, I don't understand.
I think you are being very eloquent about what you're talking about. I think from your perspective as the greatest writer of all time, it is the way you see things is, I'm sure it's frustrating for you to watch something like this and say, man, I could have gotten 3 weeks or a month out of that I watched in the first episode. Why would they not do that?
Right.
And I would love to have Triple H sit down and tell me, why don't you feed into that? Or how come, you couldn't get a deal done with her until right before she walked out? That to me is interesting.
And
like,
Coach,
okay, go ahead.
They did the same thing with Braun Breaker.
Same thing.
Now he's out on a lake. Now he's fishing. You see the love of his uncle and his dad. You see how well-spoken and educated the dude is. Why are we not showing these people? Now, bro, again, bro, wrestling's a work. So they have to have a character. But They gotta be an extension of who they are. And here's the interesting, Coach, and I don't mean to hog the show. I don't mean to hog the show.
You're not.
But
this
there was
your world.
something very interesting about Unreal, okay? Yeah. You're seeing Braun's face light up when he's talking about his father and his uncle. Yeah. And he wanted to be like them since he was a kid. Then you go to Triple H, and Triple H is making it clear, no, we're not going to use the Steiner name. He's not going to be a Steiner because he's going to be bigger than the Steiner. That's the story, bro. The story is he's a Steiner, and he looked up to his father and his uncle, and this is what he always wanted to do. And when you take that Steiner name away from him, you're freaking killing him. Now, I understand what Hunter's saying. Hunter is saying, well, bro, if he's a Steiner, he's only going to be able to go so far. Bro, that's assuming a lot, because I think they are making a huge mistake not using Rick and Scott Steiner with this kid from day one. And again, so what happens, Coach? We get to the television show and he's spearing people.
Yep.
Oh, okay, I get it. But that's all I'm getting, bro. That's all I'm getting. And that's not going to make me watch every week.
It's not. And I think that's just the first of several mistakes they made. And when I hear we can't have him win the Royal Rumble because we don't want to shove him down people's throats. Vince, I'm sitting here watching going, I was there for 13 Royal Rumbles. And when you decide who is going to win, it's for one of two reasons. Either A, you think they are big enough to main event WrestleMania, or B, you're going to use that in a storyline for the next pay-per-view before you get to WrestleMania. But to say we can't shove him down people's throats when he's basically a new talent on the rise, I never got tired of Braun Breaker. I still haven't got tired of Braun Breaker. So what did you make of that they're like, no, let's pull the reins back a little bit, and now all of a sudden you go from he's going to win the Royal Rumble to now SummerSlam, and he basically doesn't even have a big role in the company right now.
Well, not only that, he just lost to Seth Rollins.
100%.
Okay, he just lost to Seth Rollins.
Clean.
Yeah, you know, Coach, here's the thing. That's the wrestling bubble. That's the wrestling bubble. That's where their headset is. It doesn't matter who the individual is. It could have been anybody that was there for that length of time. They would have said the same thing. What I'm saying is, if you build him correctly, it's going to be believable when he wins the Royal Rumble. You'll believe it. You're forcing it down somebody's throat when they ain't buying it. If you would have built them the right way, they would have bought it.
You know, now that you're talking about this, I'm starting to play things back in my head, which is what we do here different than anybody else. If you had done the Steiner name thing at the end of 2025, and you had the opportunity, Vince, once Seth got hurt, the vision was just kind of there. They weren't really doing anything with them. You could have pivoted to, well, I'm the leader now, but how do I be a leader in the wrestling business? I need to talk to somebody. And now all of a sudden you go out with him. And again, tell me if I'm off base here. And you go and say, I'm now the leader because Seth is hurt. And he goes and talks to Big Papa Pump. And he goes and talks to Rick. And all of a sudden, you can bring these guys back in, whoever's involved in the family still, of course I know. But now you're getting those legends, which to me, in every big sport, NFL, NBA, like look at the Knicks when they won the NBA championship. What did you have at the game-clinching win? You had all the legends. Yep. You had all the OGs. Now you can bring the OGs into the show in a way that's not just, hey, here's who got inducted into the Hall of Fame last night. You know what I mean? You could have done that with him. And now when you get to January, he's got the confidence from his own family saying, you are good enough. You know what? No. If Triple H is worried about that, not only are you good enough, you're going to be better than we were. You're going to be greater than we were. And that's a great storyline.
And you know what, Coach? I'm going to tell you something right now. They're going to go there. They're going to go there because they're going to realize he's not getting over the way he should they're going to go there when, guys, you could have saved yourself a hell of a lot of time by going there off the shoot, bro.
1,000%. And you also would not have a very unhappy talent right now,
right.
as all the reports are saying he is. All right, we're going to get to a couple of storylines from Raw in a second, but we've got a lot of super chats that we got to get to, so let's run through a few before we get to the great missing main event talent. Let's go to Hey10001. Thank you yesterday, by the way. Your super chat on 2 count gave your spot away. Vince, amazing job with the book. Thank you for talking to Daphne. She's my all-time favorite female wrestler.
Yeah, that was very hard. That whole chapter, and I had to talk about it in the audio book, was very, very, very hard. I'm glad you appreciated it, man. You know, she was worth her due, man, no doubt.
And you said the audio stuff was hard to do, right?
Very hard to do. Very hard to do. Yeah.
All right, PGH says WWE doesn't care about the casual viewers anymore. Heyman even said in an interview they book for the fans that they have. That's crazy to admit, man, that we have punted on trying to get a casual fan to tune into the show. If you're Netflix, hell, if you're ESPN, what are you thinking if you hear that interview?
Again, you said these are questions I would love to pose to them. Okay, Paul, here's what you said. Why? You want to talk about the why? Why would you say? How are you going to get new fans then? How are you going to get fan? Forget about ever getting a fan back. Like, that'll never happen. Those are gone. How are you going to get new fans if you don't want to go into that pool? Where are they coming from?
Man, I tell you what, the old formula was playing the long game where you had father, and then he takes his son grows up, and he dips during college, right? But he comes back in his mid to late 20s. Then he has a son. They start going, and it's rinse and repeat. Now you don't have that anymore. You don't have it because they can't afford to take him to the show. All right, another one from PGH. Vince, you always mention the time you gave Steve Austin a headset for the first time. When was that episode?
Yeah, that's a great question, Penguins, but I can't tell you, but if I went back and looked, I would be able to find it. But it was like right between the Ringmaster and Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was right between. If you go back and look, bro, you'll be able to find that time. I'll try to figure it out for you.
Okay. Let's go to Chi-Town MMA. He says JCF and W. Vince Rougeau is the only reason wrestling has ever been entertaining to me. A straight-up wrestling show is boring. Coach and bro for life.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Chi-Town.
Thank you.
Do you feel this way, Vince? Because I've started to recently. So ESPN does a bunch of layoffs. A lot of big-time talent got laid off yesterday. And I see a lot of people out there saying, listen, if you're not starting your own brand and your own LLC or whatever and own your own talent, you're going to be left on the side of the road because everything is changing away from working for the networks and working for yourself. I feel like now with the people that are in the chat, the people that are doing the super chats, that they're starting to realize that this show and this brand isn't just two dudes who used to be in the WWE. And that's why we're growing every single show, because they're talking about it and they're bringing people here, because we don't sit here and pat ourselves on the back. We just say what we know. And right now, for the last 25 minutes, you've given us a master's class on why the first episode of Unreal and the way they're doing things doesn't make sense. But also, you give us, here's how I would do it. Here's how, and it's not really like you're giving us, we're not in Algebra 4. It's not super, super complicated. Just a lot of it's common sense that you think about.
Well, Coach, and you and I have spoken about this before, and I would say this to anybody that works for a company or a corporation, okay? Coach, what we now have is our freedom.
Yeah.
You're not going to have that working for a corporation, man, because there's politics. There's politics, and people are going to keep you down if they want to keep you down. And there's not a damn thing you're ever going to be able to do about it. If somebody knows you're better than them, they're going to keep you down. So what happens, bro? You're stuck. When you have an opportunity, Coach, here like you and I have, nobody's keeping us down. No, nobody's telling us what we can and cannot say. Nobody's making up lies about us and painting a picture of us that we're horrible people. We're able to come on here and be ourselves, and that's a gift that we've both earned.
Oh my God, you're damn right. We have earned it. And, we obviously talk a lot of wrestling, but we also talk a lot of entertainment as well. And what you just said, I think about the wrestling business. And I think about all the times, whether it was me or hell, the different companies you've been in, and how there's so many people that regardless of what we've been through, we've made it and found each other, because the wrestling business is exactly what you're talking about. Think about what they're doing right now. Think about a guy like Royce Keys. When they recruited him back in January, we're going to do this, 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 and this. And now they've used him once or twice. Think about when AJ Lee is called and Triple H walks in the room and says, hey, I think you can still do it. It's going to be big. And as much as we cared about her in the show, she was around like 3 or 4 times. You know what I mean? And then you've got a guy like a CM Punk gone for 3 months. It feels like to me that the people that they could push to make this company where it could get back to, it's almost like they're saying, we don't want that and we don't care. We don't care if the fans don't like it or not, or if people like us like it. It feels that way to me.
Yeah, and Coach, it's very confusing because all I keep seeing is this one's coming in and this one's coming in and that one's coming in. And I'm like, bro, concentrate on getting the people over that are on the show now. Mm-hmm. You keep bringing all these people in. You got dozens of people on the show right now that are not over. What do you think? By just bringing people in, they're going to instantly be over? It doesn't work that way, Coach.
It's investment, it's storyline, it's promos, it's caring. It's on the talent too to get themselves over, but you have to create a scenario and also give them TV time. I don't know that I've ever seen a time, and obviously you and I are a step away from it, but when I was there, when you're in it, when you were there and you're really in it with Vince, I don't know that I've ever seen a time where the talent looks more disengaged right now than they ever have been. I watch Unreal, and I don't feel like that, like, oh my God, other than maybe when AJ Lee was walking out or something like that. But it doesn't feel when I'm watching like, man, the company I grew up in, I could not wait, Vince, to get back on that airplane. I couldn't wait to get to whatever town it was. I couldn't wait to go down to the hotel bar, and all the fans are there, and they're like, man, tomorrow night, this has been happening. This has been happening. I can't wait for this to happen. I'm going to see this guy or this girl. It was exciting. It was exciting. And I want excitement in my life at this point. You and I don't have 40 more years to do this. So damn it, we're going to have fun today. I wish I saw that with the talent. And I promise you, the talent wish they felt that way so they could act that way. Is that fair?
That is fair, Coach, because when we talk about this one isn't there for 2 months, Randy Orton isn't there now, Punk wasn't there for 3 months, we're going to SummerSlam and Reigns isn't on the show. Well, guys, guess what? If they wanted to be there, they'd be there.
100%.
So obviously they don't want to be there. If they wanted to be there, all Roman Reigns has to do is pick up the phone and say, I want to be on every show going to SummerSlam. If he doesn't do that, he obviously doesn't want to. That's easy. The bottom line, Coach.
And what's crazy is that he was at a Yankees game. He was at the Fanatics Fest for, I think, both days, but he can't fly an hour on the jet that clearly took all the talent over to Detroit. It's an hour flight to Detroit. And I am so tired of hearing, well, they negotiated that in, Coach, so shut up. This is what they negotiated. The company's allowing them to do it. Great. That is true. But, Vince, what you said is also true. If it's red hot, if you want to have just the biggest main event or wherever you are in the card, then you're like going to the creative team and saying, there is no way you keep me off this show this week and next week. And you know what? I'll go to SmackDown too. And I'll be on that show because I know those ratings are suffering. I know those ticket sales are suffering. And so 3 nights of Roman Reigns could help something, or Cody, or CM Punk, or Randy Orton. But yet, I don't feel that.
Yep, I agree.
And clearly, it backs us up because they're not there.
Right.
They're not there.
Right.
TYX25 says, is WWE ribbing Taker at this point? His champion Dominic, who's going to defend his title in September at Triple Mania, is going to go against Danhausen. It's a great super chat. I don't know if you saw the poster, Vince, but 8 months ago, he wrestled John Cena twice on his farewell tour. They thought enough of Dirty Dom to give 2 of those. What were they? Was it 18 appearances, 16 appearances? We counted them down for Cena. Mm-hmm. 2 of them were Dirty Dom. And now fast forward, and he's going one-on-one against Danhausen at SummerSlam.
Bro, we've always said this over and over and over again, and you've seen it so many times with this company. They'll get somebody here, and they don't know how to get them here. And it certainly doesn't help when Dom's getting chokeslammed by a basketball player who's never been in a wrestling ring. That does not help Dom. That brings Dom from here to here. And for them to not see this, and for them to not see this is a guy we need to protect, I don't know what to say, Coach.
When I look at it with my eyes, I don't think I'm a genius. I think I know wrestling. I know you do. Big time. How do they not see that he's a guy that just because his physique is not Obafemi, he could be as big of a star as Obafemi? So why are we not treating this guy with the respect that I believe he deserves? Because getting heat in wrestling is one of the hardest things to do as a heel, period. What did the Rougeau brothers say when they started our show today? Thank you for booing us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Sometimes you walk out and it's crickets. And you go, what can I do to make them hate me? Dirty Dom was just being Dirty Dom and had that very unique heat that you cannot manufacture. And now they've taken it away by putting him in these stupid segments with Danhausen, who already, Vince, I hate to say it, I'm right. The bloom is off the rose. Danhausen is not nearly as popular as he was a month ago. Let's just be honest.
When you watch Monday's show, Coach, and we did our show before Raw. Bro, I'm watching this show, and it's 2 things. It's 2 things. Pops and spots. Pops and spots. That's the whole show. When Danhausen is going and getting Io Sky, that's a pop. Everything is a pop and a spot. Bro, 3 people. 3 times they went through the announce table. That's a pop. Everything is a spot and a pop and a spot and a pop. And that's why you're where you are. That is exactly why you're where you are.
Mr. Soldier HD says the Hall of Fame used to honor legends. Now it feels more like a marketing tool, and that's the sad reality. There is no question. When I went back in like 18 or 19, I got into it because I spoke out of school a little bit, and I was just like, they're checking boxes. Yep. And I never want to insult anybody that is a WWE Hall of Famer. I never want to do that. But if you look at some of the names, Vince, that they have put in, it's very obvious if we're just being honest. And then also you have people that have been inducted multiple times. Right. If you are in as part of Evolution, you're in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
You don't need to be inducted as a solo artist. Or if you're a solo artist, you don't need to be inducted as part of DX or whatever it is. There are plenty of people out there. Plenty. It's almost like they use storylines for the Hall of Fame now because it's also another night you can make money on ticket sales.
Yeah.
World of Wrestling says, Vincent Coach, let's admit it, they don't care to produce a good show. WWE just steals people's money to whoever is willing to give it to them. WWE sucks. I know they don't, Vince. They don't like to admit that they read stuff like this, but it gets back to them. It gets back to us when people either say we're great or we suck or whatever. And there's more and more super chats like this one. They have to see it.
Coach, you know what we didn't talk about? It was such a small detail. It was such a small detail, but I found it hilarious.
Give it to me.
I talk about this all the time, guys. A creative meeting when I was writing was either me and Vince or me, Vince, and Ed at Vince's house.
Yeah.
Okay? Vince would be in his Zubaz. His hair wasn't even combed. Once in a while, he'd lift his cheek and fart like a 12-year-old. These were the creative meetings. We went out to lunch. These were the creative meetings. So now we go to these boardrooms. There's 10 people sitting around a table, suits, ties, Hunter at the head of the table, the big whiteboard. Bro, this popped me huge. If you guys look closely at the boardroom, here's what kills me. So we've got this formal setting. Bro, first of all, creative and formal.
They don't go together.
Yeah, bro,
they don't go together.
It should be on Sesame Street. Which one does not belong? Creative and formal does not go together. I promise you, Trey and Parker, when they're writing South Park, they're not in a boardroom. I promise you, bro. But Coach, did you notice this?
What?
On the sides of the wall. It's like a candy store. They got lollipops. They got Rice Krispie treats. They got peanut M&Ms. And I'm like, wait a minute, bro. So this is a formal, everybody, impress Triple H, but yet it's going to be laid back because I'm going to have a Snickers. Like, bro, it is they are so out of bounds with so much stuff. It's freaking ridiculous, bro.
I'm so pissed at you right now because now I'm going to have to spend at least 3 minutes of my life going back and watching that.
Can I play a video for you edited by the great Ben Hameen?
Of course.
Let me play a video for you. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to put it up to the camera, guys. Hold on. Let me put the volume on. Watch this, guys.
Put the microphone next to it, too.
What do you think is on his mind right now?
That's Heyman, by the way. Watch this.
Pretzels. Dum-dums. Candy bars. Peanut butter cups. M&M's. He's been hammering them peanut M&M's hard. Breath mints. Oreos. Raisins covered in yogurt for when he's on his diet. Peanut butter pretzels, been hammering them 2 times. More candy bars. Snickers bars. Brothers Originals. Rice Krispie treats. It's unreal.
What are we doing, guys? Serious? Guys, Coach, have you ever heard of a think tank?
Yes.
That's where you write TV, guys. Guys, a think tank is you got a room, it's colorful, you got beanbag chairs, you got TVs, you got video games. Everybody is relaxed. Me and Ed used to have Jerry Springer on in the background. That's how you do creative, guys. You don't put dum-dums in the freaking conference room, man. Come on.
I've never, for a company that thrives, or at least used to, on healthiness. And if you go to
I didn't even think about that.
It's chicken breasts. Like you've been in catering. It's chicken breasts. What did Vince used to have brought to him by Brawler and Bruno?
Yeah,
Bruno. Yeah. It was chicken breasts. It was pasta.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I never even saw Vince pick up a dum-dum. It was like one of the old wrestlers in the ring.
Vince didn't even understand. Yeah, he didn't even put cream and sugar. It was black coffee. That's it. Black coffee, man.
By the way, Triple H is on the board for the presidential fitness situation that they go to the White House for. What are we talking about here?
Bro, I don't know what we're doing. I really don't know what we're doing anymore, man.
People are just saying, "Oh, Vince and Coach are just negative."
I'm laughing. It's hysterical. It's hysterical to me, bro. You're in a boardroom and the cabinets aligned with the peanut M&Ms.
Oh my God. But by the way, one other, because I feel like I have to do a disclaimer every time I say it, because especially right now with so many people losing their jobs, I don't want anybody to lose their jobs, but I want them to do their job. Like do your job and then keep your job. So So did you notice in Unreal when Michael Hayes is like, and bam, and bam, and bam, and bam. and Hunter's like, yeah. I couldn't help but take my mind always goes back to the wedding. It always goes like the biggest upset in the history of pro wrestling is that Michael Hayes is still employed at WWE. That's like the biggest upset for the world championship ever. My former partner. Oh, you talk about being in a closed room that sucks. That's doing Jacked or Metal with Michael Hayes. I promise you. I promise you.
Guys, here's what we're saying. This is what we're saying. Obviously, the numbers are going down. Obviously, it's not a good show. Obviously, it's affecting ticket sales. Obviously, a lot of people are starting to say this isn't a good show. No problem. Okay, sometimes that happens, bro. Stop. Look at the way we're doing things. Examine the way, and I'm talking about going all the way to where it starts. You know, NXT. Who are we chosen? What are they doing once they come in? How are they going up to the big league? How are we writing creative? Is there too many people? Is it the right environment? Just look at everything you're doing rather than same old, but somehow, some way, it's magically going to change.
Do you think, Vince, that whether it's LFG, everybody that's on these different shows have been in the business for a long period of time? And we know that. But I wonder if, and I'm trying to connect the dots. Back when I was in my 20s, just starting out, and the agents that they had there were great communicators with the guys that they had, the Dudleys, the Booker T's, all these guys. Now, you know, you learn from who you learn from. And now fast forward, and a lot of the same communication is to these young kids, but I don't think the young kids are having the ability to have the freedom to, okay, Bully Ray, you're saying this to talent A. Now go home tonight and try to come up with the creative for how you can create a character so you don't come back as John Smith, but you come back with a name so when you leave here, you are now Trick Williams or you're now something. I feel like there's just a disconnect between what they're being told and maybe having the ability or not being scared of their own shadow, that I'm going to lose my spot if I come and I try to get a little bit creative. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And you see a lot of that, bro. You especially see a lot of that in the women matches. You can see them go from spot to spot to spot. Like they had a map. We're going to go from point A to B to C to D to E. That's somebody telling you to do that. And the problem is that's how it's coming across.
Correct. Boom.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why what you just said right there, Coach, if you look at the product and even look at the promos, that really has a lot of merit.
And if you get cut too, and they addressed it a little bit in Unreal, that a lot of the business, for those of you watching right now, a lot of the business is being able to adjust from a 15-minute match down to a 6 or a 6 up to 12 or your promo. You now no longer, I know you've been rehearsing it for the last 2 hours. Yep. You don't have 4 minutes anymore. You only have 2. What's the most important thing you're pulling out of that? And that's why I tell people on our team here, give me 2 or 3 nuggets, and then you grow from that. Give me 45 seconds, then you grow from that. So you can give me the short, but then you're also able to hit certain things if you need to go a little bit longer. But in wrestling, Vince, you know this, it's never shorter to longer. It's always longer to shorter.
Right.
And they just may not have the talent to do that, which is why we try to tell the fans, you expect a certain thing, but not everybody can sit here and talk sports, wrestling, whatever it is, for an hour or an hour and a half and have credibility. Not everybody's built for this, Vince, and not everybody is built to be a top flight superstar with depth.
Yeah, and not only that, Coach, again, when I say look at the system and look at every aspect of it, you know, a part of it that we very rarely talk about is the agents. And what was the rule for the agents? What was the rule? You were an agent if you are a main eventer and you drew money. That's why you are an agent, because the wrestlers you're agenting, you want them to be main eventers and draw money. That's who your agents were. You know, Chief Jay Strongbow, you know, George the Animal Steel. You know, these were Jack Lanza, Pat Patterson, Jerry Briscoe. These were main eventers that drew money. You look at who their agents are today. Bro, they were all mid-carders at best. And who do we just have on the show? Granted, Ray is mayor. You got a guy like Jacques Rougeau? That guy couldn't be an unbelievable agent for tag teams? That's what I'm saying, man. You really need to take a long, hard look at the way you're doing business across the board.
And not the actual business of the business. It's got to be, and this is where I wish that Art up top, or Ari, and Mark could stop doing the interviews about, man, we do this and this, and this is why we charge this, and stop with the money. Let's stop talking about money. Because in wrestling, and this may be the only business that this exists, that the money doesn't matter if the stories and the talent and the fans don't show up.
Right.
In the NFL, fans are always going to show up. But guess what? If they didn't sell one ticket to an NFL game, it would still be profitable long-term because of TV. That's not the case in wrestling. If you don't have the atmosphere and the fans and all that showing up to these big events, there's a reason that SummerSlam, Vince, the ticket's $25. $25 for your second biggest show of the year. Clearly, the fans are not buying into what you're selling. And when they're overpriced, those two things meet in the middle. And what happens? You have 25,000 people in a 66,000 venue. All right, a lot of super chats still to get to. Let's speed through them. Plot Twist Jones, spot on the wheel. Speaking of voting, we need to show where legitimate wrestlers and veteran creative people are the ones actually rating matches and handing out real stars. Let's finally phase out the Dave Meltzer bias. He's been phased out. He just has a platform. Make no mistake about it. And I actually, you know what I did yesterday on the 2 count? I actually don't mind Alvarez. I think Brian Alvarez has some good takes.
Well, he calls Meltzer out too. He calls him out.
He's tired of working with Meltzer.
Yeah.
It is obvious. Can you imagine if I said that stuff to you, or you said that stuff that Alvarez says to Meltzer? I mean, that lasts about 2 more shows. That would be it. It's like, I think he's like, my God, I just can't sit here with this guy anymore. That's how it feels like to me when I see Alvarez. Yeah. I wish. No, I don't. I don't wish this. I was gonna say I wish I could live with the blinders that Meltzer lives with when I walk around with those. No, I don't. No, I don't. I need to be self-aware. K_ says, thank you so much for JCW. I haven't watched WWE or any other big promotion in years, and I have no feel to anymore. That's real. They cannot keep ignoring people like K_.
Yep.
Because every time they go, oh, that guy doesn't matter. Really? Because I think now you're starting to see, Vince, a fan goes away and the numbers are matching up.
Oh, yeah.
This is, right? You and I talked about it in 2025 that this would happen.
And
I just didn't know if it happened this soon. Did you?
No. And then we talk about, man, how difficult it is to get them back, man. Just how difficult it is to get them back. Once they're gone, man, it is so hard, bro.
So hard. And Dad, who wants to take I just saw this video of they like upgraded a young female fan at one of the big PLEs and the dad. So let's imagine Dad is spending whatever, or looks at the tickets and says, I'm not spending $4,000 to take me and my daughter. And now all of a sudden you're giving me shows that I don't care to go to. Yet that young daughter, little Susie, she's going to start watching something else.
Yeah.
Little Johnny is watching something else, and they're not going to come back and say, hey, Dad, can we start watching Raw again or start watching SmackDown? They're not going to do that. That's the way kids are.
Yeah.
It just is. Haas7809, thank you for the super chat. Just wondering why he isn't on Busted Open Show. Isn't the my 2 to 4 daily is empty? Haas, we've addressed this. They did not give me a reason, but I know this. We're making this our new 2 o'clock show, which is why we changed it to 2 o'clock. We're adding a third day, and eventually we believe this will be a 5-day-a-week show. I wish I would tell you if they gave me a reason. I'm transparent. They literally said nothing. It was like dead silence on the phone. Nothing. We're going in a different direction. And Vince, it seems like more and more nobody's listening to that time slot.
Yeah.
And I don't even know who the host is, so I'm not even being shady to anybody. I don't know who it is. Jay Guz says LA Knight, can be the new what chant. Even make a black T-shirt with bold white letters that say, WWE hasn't produced a good T-shirt in years. Another good point.
Yeah.
Another good point. K underscore says JCW is so good because everyone feels connected. No mamby-pamby baby stuff. No insulting the fans. It's just a fun time. Wait, fun? Whoever is not currently watching JCW, what are you doing? Get on it, bros.
Coach, you know what's so funny, man? I talk about this all the time. Comedy, guys, is a very fine line in wrestling. Very fine line. And the WWE, when it comes to comedy, man, they always miss. So, Coach, when we do things in JCW, that's comedy. We're doing it wink, wink. It's wink, wink. Like, like Jasmine Sinclair, bro, is 60 years old. She didn't just get pregnant, okay? It's wink, wink. We're doing wink, wink.
Yes.
God, bro, I don't know if you watched it on Monday night, but when Liv took the case and she's walking down with R.D. McDonough and Dominic Mysterio, and she's doing, I got the case. It's like, it's so horrible. It is so absolutely horrible. Bro, somebody's got to pull her aside when that is over and say, Liv, because they weren't trying to be funny. You understand? I'm watching this and I'm laughing at her, but it wasn't supposed to be funny. And that's what I mean. It's like, guys, it's stuff like that. You just got to get better, man.
Do you think that these... I've always prided myself on understanding if what I did was good or what I did was not good. Mm-hmm. You can feel that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that some of these performers know that some of this stuff is bad, or are they living in a world of everything we do is good because I'm in the WWE?
No, I believe the bad stuff they do, they believe is good. Because there's so much bad stuff. The bad stuff is the norm. So to them, it's good. Like I said, a casual television viewer, you're looking at that laughing, but you're not supposed to be laughing.
That's how wrestling takes a gigantic step backwards.
Yes, Coach.
That was the biggest thing I dealt with going to ESPN is a lot of people would be like, oh, you came from that silly stuff or that stupid stuff or whatever the case might be. But if silly stuff and stupid stuff is done well, then it's fun and entertaining. If it's done well, if it's just done badly, then really smart people who are your casuals, those are your casuals, they just walk away going, I would never watch that crap. That's what happens.
And also, Coach, it's very important of who you do it with.
Correct.
You got to know who is funny and who has chops and who. When that Bailey, This Is Your Life, fell flat on its face and she's doing the ding dong, Bailey's not a comedy act, guys. Like you got to know Danhausen is a comedy act. Bailey is not a comedy act. You have to know that.
I wonder right now, if I was to make a list of people that I think could be funny, a lot of my stuff was funny.
It was funny. Absolutely, because you got to do it with the right people.
Correct. Golly. It's funny. Most of the time, like what we did, we would have Vince and me, or Eric and me, or I was like the GM that nobody respected, but I thought I had power. And people would laugh behind my back, but I never saw it. That was kind of how we did it. Or having a fake trial where Eric's on trial and all these people are saying these ridiculous... Like, those all-day shoots were so much fun.
But you know what, Coach? Here's the thing. You knew what you were doing. And why did you know what you were doing? You knew what you were doing because of Vince McMahon.
Correct.
Knew these kids, they don't know what they're doing, Coach.
And you don't have somebody standing over to the side saying good or bad or do it again or whatever. There is something to be said for one voice at the top. There is something to be said.
Absolutely. Yep.
Hope Live says Cody always feels like he's trying too hard to be next. I couldn't read it. Everybody seems overly polished and rehearsed. Even his interviews, just boring. I think there is an issue right now, certainly with Cody and what they're doing with him. There's definitely an issue. Philman77, premium member, thank you. WWE constantly talks about building the next superstars. However, it seems they've been having some trouble lately. You had to replace SummerSlam main events with new wrestlers. Who would they be? Interesting question. By the way, thank you for the $14 super chat. I don't know who I would put in that main event right now.
Well, again, bro, it's like the one thing I look at immediately, like they brought up all these great African-American wrestlers at once, and they're stalling. You know, you mentioned, and bro, here's when I forget their names. What's Hobbs's Royce Keys.
Royce Keys.
Somebody like that. I mean, come on, guys. Like, there are so many with potential that are just stuck. They're just stuck, going nowhere.
And I think the other thing that you've been preaching to us that works is when you're a 52-week a year product, you can space things out with people. So you're talking about having a package to promote somebody before they get up on the show, to show why Royce Keys is amazing, what he did over at AEW, because he was out, like he wasn't on the show for a minute over there before he came over here. So he's basically been off TV for 2 years. Vince, if you're off TV for 2 months, it's out of sight, out of mind.
Absolutely.
And you could have had that with, even though people knew Trick or knew Oba or knew Javon or whatever, you can still present that. And now all of a sudden, if you do it every 3 or 4 weeks, now if you got 12 new talent, that's a full year.
Yep,
that's a whole year just like that.
Absolutely.
Just like that. Oh, they're just throwing everything into a blender.
Yes.
Danable says, Coach and Vince, you guys are pros. Question, aren't heels supposed to be booed? How is Roman a heel if the crowd is cheering him?
Oh, bro, that stuff, that the end of Raw was so confusing, you know, with Solo. Bro, why would you go to them booing Fatu? Like, it's so confusing. Seth is a heel, then he's a babyface, then he's a heel. Roman's supposed to be a heel, but we're chanting for Roman. Fatu is a babyface, but it is so freaking confusing, man.
You know what's funny is I was thinking about that with Roman Reigns. And you think about guys, I think you said in our last show, the guys are doing this without direction. You said something like that.
Yeah.
And we've talked about John Cena turning heel. And whose decision was that? When I think about Roman Reigns and where he's at right now, I can't help but think to myself, very easily, you can tweak those promos to make him right now the biggest heel possible.
Right. Whatever you want to do. Absolutely.
Can you imagine when Seth's saying you couldn't beat me? Yeah, but I beat everybody else. I'm the one these people are here for. I'm the one that the reason that we're selling tickets for 4,000. Like I could write that in 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
5 minutes. And all of a sudden, Roman separates himself from the common wrestling fan. The looks, the body, the acting, it's right there. If you truly want to have a heel and a baby face is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
based off
absolutely.
That super chat, right?
Right, absolutely. Yep.
So easy, but they have to be willing to do it, Vince.
Yeah.
And I think right now they don't have anybody making them do it. So I think Triple H thought, well, I'll have 2 megastars. We don't need to have a baby face and a heel.
And the story's already written. It's already written. So we just got to maintain it.
No, yeah, but it's not working.
Right.
It's not working. Panhead, love him. Can't wait to see the weigh-in on Raw between Brock and Boba Fett. This was going to be our last topic, Vince. You know the old days when they'd be like, in one quarter, weighing in at 342 pounds, Big John Studd.
Right.
Vince, why are we having a weigh-in for 2 dudes inside Hell in a Cell on your go-home Monday Night Raw? What are we doing?
What's the why? John,
what is the why?
Cena wants to know what's the why. To see what they weigh.
I mean, you're not going to do anything physical because they're getting ready to be Hell in a Cell. Nothing you do on Raw can be any worse. And was it Triple H or Paul Heyman that said this is going to be just the most brutal match ever? It probably will be if they do it correctly. It's a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
That's a Hell in a Cell. And so what could you possibly do? What
you would possibly
Vince, I'll get back to that. I just found something.
Uh-oh.
It's online.
They're all out of dum-dums in the conference room.
So they had to move apparently to Triple H's office. This just came in the BTT Studios newsroom.
Wait, what is Triple H say?
He says you can't have any. You have to make weight for Brock on Monday night.
That is great. That is tremendous. Very nice. No dum-dums for you, Oba.
No dum-dums from the dum-dum. No, we're not doing that.
Look at the candy behind Triple H. Look at the candy.
What is that? You got gumballs?
Triple H is he's Willy Wonka now. Triple H is Willy Wonka, bro.
Oh my God. Oh, when they were putting together that room, who do you think was the architect that said, and over on this panel or on this shelf, and then they handed them a list, get down to, 5 below or whatever.
I know who it was. I know who set up the room that way.
Who?
Augustus Galloop. Remember the guy that went down the tube in the Chocolate River? They brought Augustus Galloop in as a consultant coach to set up that room with the proper goodies. Come on, man.
Oh my God. Shout out to Mikey P on that one.
Can you imagine, bro, we didn't even talk about this. Can you imagine Vince if all that crap was around in the boardroom? Could you imagine? Oh my God, bro.
This is how serious he would take that.
Oh,
somebody would get fired.
Bro, somebody would get fired and he would clear take
out.
that paw and he would clean those shelves out, bro.
And you better have it all vacuumed up by the time you use that room again. I mean,
yes.
that just would never happen.
Oh my God.
That just would never happen. That's hilarious. All right, let's go to Hey10001. Do wrestling finishers matter anymore? Is it just me?
No.
Or does every wrestler have the same type of finisher?
There's no finishers anymore. Everybody kicks out of everything. There's no finishers.
Stop it right now.
Is there a finish?
Hey, the spears are a little different from Ron Breakker to Roman Reigns.
I got you. Okay.
Right? Those are a little bit different.
Yeah.
So let's respect the different spear.
Yes.
Or the different Superman punch.
Yeah.
Or the nonsense of kicking out. Because it's funny to me, Triple H, I'll put him over. He was one of the great psychological wrestlers of all time.
No
so
doubt.
when you have that guy walking around and you have the ability to ask him a question, he would tell you that you're not making yourself greater or more of a star or whatever it is by kicking out of 4 or 5 finishers. But I think that's been the mentality that has festered the last year or two is I'm going to be bigger and I'm going to kick out of this finish. You're killing your partner.
Right. Yep.
You're killing the guy you're wrestling against. Now all of a sudden he has nothing that is a 1,000% finisher. Think about some of the great finishers, Vince, of all time. The Stone Cold Stunner. If you slow it down, and by the way, I took the 3rd best of all time. If you slow it down, it's so ridiculous that would beat anybody.
Yeah.
But nobody ever said that.
Yeah. What about, bro, I can go back even further and further and further. Stan the Man Stasiak's heart punch. Bro, he'd hold your arm behind your head, punch you here, and you believe that the guy's heart stopped. You literally believe the guy's heart stopped. Now, I'm watching the show the other day. I swear to God, Coach, 3 guys went through a table in an hour. In an hour. I'm like, really, guys? Really? Bro, first of all, at what point does Pierce or all this? At what point does one of them say, whoever breaks the next table is not only going to be paid for it, is not only going to pay for it, you're going to be suspended for the next 2 weeks? At what point does somebody say that?
Who's putting the tables back together, by the way?
Oh my God. Come on, guys.
There was a
Stop
day
it.
where it happened once.
Oh my God.
There was a day it happened once.
Bro, there was a day it happened once a month.
Yeah.
Once a month, coach.
And it was always the Spanish announce table. That was always the running joke. Remember, it was always their table that got it.
And it was always the main event at a pay-per-view.
1,000%.
Come on, guys.
Oh my gosh. Raw5012, premium member, thank you. V, in a recent video, you said that celebs never used to get over talent. Counter examples, Mr. T, Mayweather, L. Taylor, Rodman, Trump. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, basically, God, I have to go back to watch all of those because I don't really remember. But you never took the heat off the heel. The heel always kept his heat. Whether he had a comeback, whatever it was, you got to protect your heels. You just do, man.
Yeah, I think what Vince is talking about is you never had, like, remember Jelly Roll last year? He had a great match, but what was the ending? If you guys remember, what was the ending? He got pinned.
Right.
Had some good moves. He got pinned.
Right.
When you allow a celebrity who is not in your world to get over on a big star who is in your world with a move that severely diminishes that star.
Right. And let's look at here. Just take these names, for instance, and just off the top of my head. First of all, Mr. T, his partner was Hulk Hogan. Okay,
Correct.
That was his partner. Floyd Mayweather was a world-class boxer. So
yes.
I would believe that. Lawrence Taylor was one of the greatest linebackers in the history of the NFL.
All time.
That's believable. Dennis Rodman, again, world-class athlete. And Trump got over on Vince.
Correct.
Vince's character was a clown.
Yes.
So, in those instances, there's a reason for that. But my whole point was with Towns, it was all right for him to get to J.D. McDonough. There was no reason for him to get to Dominic.
You cannot have, to me, there's a cutoff. There is a cutoff.
Yes.
If you have to do something like that, there's a cutoff. And Dirty Dom is most definitely under the cutoff.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, no, Vince. Oh, no.
Oh, no, we got another...
Right when I started the flow, right when we're starting to wrap things up, a few more super chats. Apparently, this just came into the BTT newsroom, that the WWE is starting a offshoot of said Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so...
I love AI. I got to get a job in AI. I am so entertained by AI. It is unbelievable. There's Augustus Gloop right there.
There he is. Yeah,
man.
yeah. Apparently, they did individual photo shoots as well. So Paul did his own.
Come on, guys, stop it. Stop it.
And then I guess Triple H did
there
his
it
too,
is.
so.
Yes.
It does. Boy, those suckers do look really good, though.
Yeah, they do.
And what's crazy is they have the entire shelf that was actually in the headquarters.
In the boardroom.
They were able to get that into the shot.
God, whoever generated that in the small amount of time you did, somebody's got to walk me through that process, man.
Mikey P. That's all Mikey P.
Oh
right
my God, that's
Mikey
incredible.
The man is the man stepping up. He's doing a great job. For us.
Isn't
that
great.
Crazy?
Yes.
That's great. All right. As always, we've gone over time. Let's race through. We got a few more super chats, and then we got to get to the wheel. Team Q, my man from O-Town, says, "Hey, Coach, thanks for putting me on BKB. This question is for Rougeau Moore. Would JCW take a place on my AEW app if offered? This show needs to be 5 days a week." Ricky from O-Town, as Coach says. Oh, I didn't even read the end of it. There you go. We definitely we have visions of making this 5 days a week. But what he's asking you, Vince, if Tony Khan reached out and said, "Hey, we want you guys on the new My AEW app," would you guys do that?
Yeah, no, I mean, guys, we're looking for like a streaming deal, and nothing happens during the summer, bro. People just don't work during the summer, but we're really going to hit it hard in September. If we weren't able to find one, I would definitely have a conversation with Tony Khan about that. No doubt about it, I would.
And let's be honest, guys, we're always fully transparent here at the Coach and Bro Show. Right now, what Violent J and Vince are truly looking for is revenue for one reason and one reason only. And you're looking at him.
Oh, I was going to say snacks.
Well, I mean, I come with snacks. Like, I'm going to need the snacks. That goes without saying. I just don't know which one. Probably the lollipops. I need my deal before 30 minutes before the show, unlike AJ. And the lollipops.
We're gonna, bro. You know what the funniest thing is now? Everybody in this chat room is gonna watch Unreal, and once we go into the boardroom, all they're gonna be looking at is the snacks in the boardroom.
I can't believe I missed that. I cannot believe I missed that.
Yeah.
I mean, for 40 years, the entire company was about health.
Oh my God. Vince would go. Vince would, if you guys knew Vince, oh my God, bro.
Oh God, he would kill it. All right, let's speed through. Kaiju says, how does one watch Unreal and still blame TKO? The creative room is completely clueless. Even simple things like run-ins are executed poorly. You know what? That's not a bad super chat. That is not a bad super chat. But it also illustrates what you and I talk about all the time, is that Ari and Mark Shapiro are not in that creative room.
Right.
They are just dictating from a financial standpoint,
right,
which affects the creative. But Vince, you watch Unreal, and it's unbelievably obvious. Let's just clean house.
Guys,
and let's start with somebody new at the top.
Guys, I'm telling you, you could call it me burying WWE, whatever you want. When I look at that creative setup, it's painful. It's painful. Coach, I swear to God, seriously, I've thought about this. I've literally thought about this. Vince, if they ever offered you a job, say $1 million a year, but you had to do creative wearing a shirt and tie. No bullshit, Coach, I would not be able to do it. I literally would not be able to do that. I'm telling you, there's something about being choked off at the freaking neck while trying to come up with creative ideas. It doesn't work, man.
Okay, so you said you wouldn't do it for $1 million. 1.5?
Maybe. But it is so, that is not a creative environment, guys. It's the complete opposite of that, man.
All right, let me ask you this. If they paid you 1.5, but yet they said you have to work with everybody in that room and not make one single change.
If people got to go, they got to go, Coach.
That's what I'm saying.
If people got to go, if people got to go, they got to go. Seriously, man. Either you belong in that room or you don't. I mean, that's. I don't belong in boardrooms. I don't belong in boardrooms. I could tell you that right now. If I was working in a boardroom, fire my ass. I don't belong in there. Bro, you either belong in there or you don't.
See, I think that's where we have to get to now with everything going on, is you can't glaze by and not be looked at by Triple H and Nick Khan and say, listen, do you belong here or not? What have you done? What storylines, what creative have you been attached to? And then take a hard line look. And I would probably say if they really did that and separated it out, how many would keep it?
Yep.
I don't know. And they're probably going to be pissed at me because, Coach, I thought we were boys. We're not boys. We're friends. But if my friend walked in the door and said, Coach, you're doing this wrong, and I was doing it wrong, I'd have to look at myself, not look at my friend.
Yep, that's it.
There's a lot of guys I haven't talked to in 20 years. So, But, it's just, you got to look at yourself and be honest with yourself.
Yep.
That's it. Be honest with yourself. Are you putting in the amount of work and the creativity and sitting there late at night till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning going, damn, this ain't working. How do I keep my own ass on the table?
Yep, that's it.
Nobody's doing that.
Yep.
All right, Chi-Town MMA, spot on the wheel. Vince, when I watch JCW, it's like watching a UFC event, and I'm fully interested in, and I'm glued to the screen. Phone is on, do not disturb, lights off, and nothing. Oh, a little too much. Nothing else matters. You're the effing man, Rougeau.
Thanks, man. That's awesome, Chi-Town. Thank you.
Very,
Yeah,
very
I'm
nice.
headed out. I'm headed out to JCW tomorrow, Coach. We got 2 shows in Columbus, Ohio on Friday. We're taping 2 shows.
Columbus, Ohio. If you are in the Columbus, Ohio area, get out. Let's sell it out, baby. Let's sell it out.
Yes.
I like it. Quickly, we got 3 more, and then we're done at Nothing But Wrestling. Just a super chat. Thank you. Russo, loved your book. Which storyline that you wrote in your career did you find the most enjoyable and rewarding?
I've said this all the time. Rock joining the corporation, definitely.
That's awesome. That is awesome. By the way, you asked that big of a question. That's not a $5 super chat. What are we doing? What are we doing? AJ, last one. Why does Michael Cole keep calling Joe Hendry and giving that jobber entrance? I have a feeling Triple H doesn't like him either. It's just another head scratcher. It's another head scratcher. To me, it's a head scratcher. He was over like Rover a year ago. He's also, guys, not 25.
Yeah.
He's damn near 40 years old. I guarantee you that. He gave. All right, sorry, I'll take that back. He gave 2 $5 super chats for that question. So I take it back. All right, that's going to do it for today. We've got one more thing to get to, and do not forget we're Mondays and Wednesdays live at 2 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have to dress Monday because I have a very important meeting in Dallas. So we'll get that out there. There is a very, very good-looking coach in Bro Wed Wheel. Not the biggest we've ever had, but still very, very solid.
Very nice.
All right. We are also working on some new merch because September 1st is our cutoff that everything has to be ready to roll, because then we're just going to go through football season, 6 straight months of nonstop content. So, Vince, one spin today. Let's see who the lucky fan is.
Here we go. Producer man, spin the wheel.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's have a new name. Who's it going to be? Who's going to have the brand new piece of merch? Oh, PGA. Let's go. Let's go. Congratulations. All right. All they need you to do is email that right there. We'll send you your digital coupon. Then you can go get yourself a T-shirt from the merch store. Send us a picture so we can put your beautiful mug up on the show. All right, Vince, you're flying out tomorrow, but we do have an airing, though, of JCW tomorrow.
Yeah,
yes?
guys, every Thursday night, brand new episode, 52 weeks out of the year, 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, JCW Lunacy.
Boom and boom. Once again, thank you to everybody for your support of the show through the super chats, through sitting through 92 minutes to 2 hours twice a week. You guys are allowing us, when we walk into these meetings, I promise you, to say, listen, we got the best fans in the business. We are going to get a streaming deal for this show. I promise you. And we will not stop until that happens. Vince, travel safe, big dog.
Thank you,
Travel
Coach.
safe.
You as well.
All right, that's going to do it for us. For my man, Vinny Ruru, Mikey P doing great work behind the scenes, and, of course, the man who runs the show, producer man, always making everything we do look like $1 million. I am simply the coach. Enjoy all of the shows, and remember, every single show, all 6 of them here at the brand, at one link. One link. You don't got to go anywhere else. That's going to do it for now. There is only one, the Coach and Bro Show. Have a good day.